Hey ladies and gents, and welcome back. So today we're just going to do something a little more laid back and fun. The other day we asked you folks to send us your questions regarding shoe brands, shoe quality, shoe repair, whatever, and we would sit down and answer as many of those questions as possible. So
kind of wrapping up the end of a day.
Exactly.
Good time to do it. So
yeah, it's the end of a work day, and as you can see, Heath and I are bourbon lovers. So every now and then, yeah, we like to enjoy.
unwind.
Exactly, and enjoy it. So if you have a favorite drink of choice or your cup of coffee, depending on what time of the day you're watching this, feel free to grab it and let's get going.
All right, so we just went through. We had a bunch of questions sent to us, and we just kind of randomly scrolled through and just grabbed someone they like. And the first one that we got was, would love to hear some recommendations on shoes at incremental price ranges. So that's a good question.
Yeah, we get this question a lot. And if you guys did not catch our video earlier in this year, it was the top 10 brands that we said to avoid. And ever since then, we've been getting questions from you guys asking, well, what brands do you recommend? Trust me, that video's coming, but with everything that's been going on with us, the move and COVID and whatnot, it's been a little bit more difficult to get that out, but it is on the way. What brands just off the top would you start throwing out there?
It's probably going to automatically start at that 200 range.
Yeah.
I do like Beckett Seminon for a Blake Welt. I'm a Blake Stitch shoe. It was.
Beckett Seminon is very entry level.
Yeah.
It's around, I believe, the 150-ish price range is what you can get them at. And yes, we have worked on quite a few of those. They are very easy to resole. So yeah, if you're going to spend any money on a dress shoe, definitely don't go much cheaper than 150. I would say Beckett Seminon is a good entry level shoe.
And they're comfortable pretty much like right out of the box.
Yes.
So that's always a good thing.
Merriman's a good one at around the 200 price range. We are going to do a more thorough review on that brand coming up. You have Loke out of England, I believe. That's another one that's around the 200, 250 range. Of course, Allen Edmonds, you can always get your hands on those. A lot of folks we know buy Allen Edmonds either there's sales, there's factory seconds. You can get them a lot on eBay that are very lightly used and have them resold.
So that name is going to be thrown out at two different levels. At that, you can get them at a much cheaper level and take advantage of that.
Yeah, you can get Allen Edmonds around the $100 price range if you want to go on eBay.
Yeah. And then they've got their full price.
Yes.
But.
And then, of course, from there, you start hitting around the 300 and above, J. Fitzpatrick, Cobbler Union, Carmina. There's a lot of brands, and we'll do a more thorough, review of those coming up.
Yeah.
All right, I have a pair of Beckett Seminons. On the sole, it says the term Blake Stitching is imprinted, or it's Blake Stitching is imprinted on the sole of the Beckett Seminons. What does that mean?
For you guys who are shoe aficionados, you already know this, but for a lot of folks, they don't know the difference between the different welts and stitches, and this is a very good question. So we mentioned it in the last question. They are Blake stitched, which means that the needle passes through the bottom of the shoe. Picture it like you're stepping on a nail, and it goes all the way through into the inside of the shoe where it actually twists onto the bobbin and comes back out. So it's actually punching all the way through the shoe and holding it on. You can't tell this by looking at a Beckett Seminon, because they use a full liner that covers up the stitches, but on a lot of them, you can peek inside and see those stitches going all the way around the ball of the foot. That is a Blake Stitch shoe. All right, next question is, early on in your careers, did you ever ruin a pair of customers' shoes because of lack of experience?
Yes.
Good question, yeah.
Yeah, when we were first starting out, accidents happen. And even to this day, I mean, you can be a master cobbler, repairing shoes for 40 years. And you're working with your hands. It's a craft. So it's, the chance of you slipping with the knife or whatever is always there. You have to be careful. You learn things of what to do, what not to do. But, accidents happen. So, definitely as a consumer, as someone who has shoes and takes them to your cobbler, or just kind of keep that in mind. Accidents do happen. But Yeah, especially when back in the early days when, you know, we again may have slipped with a knife or we were learning to use the sanding machine. It may have nicked the leather a little too much.
So if you make a mistake, you got to fess up to it, and yeah.
Yep.
All right.
All right. Number 4, I would like to know more about quality women's shoes. So this is one we get a lot in the comment section of almost every video from our lady viewers. Lady shoes are very different, and one of the reasons that we do not do a lot of videos on lady shoes, well, 2 reasons. The majority of our audience is about 98% men, so you know, we kind of cater a little bit more towards men's shoes, but we love having our ladies, you know, subscribers as well.
Thanks for like holding on and still.
Yeah.
Just because we're talking about men's stuff, and we still have a lot of lady viewers, so we appreciate
that. Yeah, and we will do some more videos on ladies' shoes, but basically the reason, one of the biggest reasons that we don't is the quality of women's shoes in comparison to the majority of men's is just vastly different. Manufacturers as a whole know that women in general tend to buy shoes because of fashion, trends, and they just will put together a shoe, they get it out on the market, they know as a whole that you'll buy it and you'll go possibly get it in every color. Men tend to buy shoes that are a little bit higher quality, more versatile. They don't buy as many, so they tend to hold on to that shoe for years and years. And that's why manufacturers tend to put less money into women's shoes than men's. We'll definitely do some videos where we crack open some ladies' shoes and show you just how different they are.
There are some good ones out there.
Yeah, quality-wise, but like he said, there are definitely some more higher quality brands out there. Not a lot, but we will go over some of those brands, I promise you.
All right, number 5, what is your preferred method of breaking in a new pair of dress shoes? That is simple, wear them.
Yeah, there are certain little tips that you can do. One of the big ones that I like to do is I like to condition the leather shoes thoroughly when I first get them. So on top of the fact that your leather shoes have been sitting, you know, inside the retail store and at the manufacturer for months before they ever get to you, they need to be, you know, conditioned anyways. But by conditioning that leather, it softens it up and helps it to break in more. Another thing that you can do is put on some thicker socks and just wear them around your house. I know I do that a lot when I get a brand new pair of dress shoes. No matter what the brand is, sometimes they're a little stiff at first, and I like to wear them around my house, you know, for a day or so before I really get out and start wearing them around. Not only does it prevent blisters and foot pain, but it will help to break in that leather as well.
And if you plan, I know some guys get excited, they finally get their new pair of shoes in, they've got an event they want to wear them to. If you can avoid wearing them to an event where you're going to be standing on your feet all day long the first time you do it, don't do that. You're just going to be miserable at the end of the day. Just wear them slightly, you know, if you're going to be sitting down, and let them kind of break in slowly. That's the best way I can recommend.
Yep. Number 6, have you guys ever dealt with Fry shoes or boots? And what are your thoughts on the quality?
Yes, we've worked on many Fry boots and shoes. Fry is one of those, it's an old brand. It's been around since, gosh, what, 1800s? Yeah. And it's changed quite a bit.
Along the same lines as a lot of the American manufacturers.
Yeah, they found cheaper ways to make the same shoe by passing it off at the same price, if not actually going up in price. So is it one that I would just automatically throw as my recommendation? No. Is it a decent shoe? Yeah. You get some that are, and it kind of depends all the way across the line. They have a very extensive line of boots and shoes for ladies and men's, and the construction across all of them is so I mean, they cover all corners.
Yeah, Fry, I would say Fry is not one of those brands that you can just put into a box and say, okay, this is a high quality boot. Like Heath said, Fry starts on this end and it goes all the way to this end. They have really cheap and they have more expensive. Even their more expensive, I would not say is as good or better than some of the other boot and shoe brands out there by any stretch, but they're not bad. They have Goodyear welted and they have glued cement constructed.
Stitched down.
Mm-hmm. And it depends again on men's and women's.
Yeah.
We get a lot of women's boots around fall, winter time to be resold, and you really never know what you're getting with each fry boot. Sometimes we get a lady's fry boot in here or a man's, and we pop it open. We're like, man, the whole thing's just cement constructed.
Some have stacked leather blocks. Some have plastic with a leather veneer around it.
Yep.
It's
just have to be careful with fry. Honestly, you never know what you get. So there are better brands out there, but fry's not bad.
This will be a good one for ladies. We'll see if we can get some different fry boots, and you'll probably recognize some of the more popular styles, and then we'll go through and tell you kind of what's in them, all that. So that'd be a good one. All right, number 7. Have you guys ever worked on the shoes of anyone famous?
Yes.
Yes, we're in Nashville, and there's a lot of celebrities either passing through or they live here.
Yeah. Both from Hollywood, country music, fashion.
Yeah,
there's a lot of celebrities live here. Even in our new place down in Columbia, Tennessee, it's a little bit further south of Nashville. It's kind of a very up and coming area, and yeah, we get a lot of celebrities down here too. Yeah. So yeah, everybody from country music to fashion, we have gotten quite a few folks come into our shop and drop off shoes. Yeah. All right, number 8. Would y'all ever do a vegan non-leather shoe repair? Yes.
I don't really care what it's made out of as long as it's constructed right.
Yeah.
So if it's made to be redone, then
bring it on.
Bring it on. It's creative.
We've gotten a lot of shoes that are vegan. I mean, we've had pleather and rubber and material type shoes. Again, you know, it just seems like the further away you get from leather, the quality of the shoe or the boot goes down tremendously. So the more inferior the quality and the material, the harder it is to resole a shoe. So just kind of keep that in mind. But yeah, if it's a shoe that can be redone and it's a vegan shoe, then absolutely we can definitely do that for you. Number 9, where did you guys learn how to do this trade? Was it a school, a course, or was it passed down to us? So yeah, we did a video on this a few months ago. We'll put the link up to it, well, above and below. Definitely check that video out. We kind of tell our background, our story, and how we got started. But
as far as schools, I've heard that there was a place in New York, maybe New York, Chicago, one of those. I don't even know if it's still around. It may be like some mythical place like Oz, you know, that you just heard stories about. But
it's getting harder and harder to find people that do this. I mean, to be honest, you know, our business here has grown so much that Heath and I have looked for other cobblers to come on board that we could either train or that have some background in shoe cobbling to come in and help us out. And it is very tough to find people. So that kind of goes back to as well, one of the reasons sometimes it takes us a little longer to get shoes back to you folks, it's because we have so much business coming in, and it is us two as far as doing most of the cobbler work. So yeah, it's difficult to find people. We've tried looking for people. There's not a lot of schools out there. More and more cobbler shops are, going out of business, so it makes it tough. But I think that goes into question number 10.
Yeah. Do you think this craft is dying? Yes and no.
Yes and no.
Yeah, I would say there's a lot of kind of mom and pops that are going out of business, not nearly what used to be. I mean, you had a cobbler shop on just about every block of a big city. Even every small town had a cobbler shop.
See, I thought New York City and most places up north, Chicago and whatnot, I thought you guys still had shoe cobblers on every block.
A quality shoe.
Yeah, and we get a lot of folks moving down here and that'll bring in shoes, and they say that a lot of the cobbler shops that they grew up going to have all closed up business. So
And the reason for that is they said there were a lot of Italian, Eastern European families that came over, and they've had a shop since like the 20s, and passed down to the son, and then now the kids now are just like they don't really have an interest in it, and they're closing down or whatnot. But
I will say this: I think the advent of the internet, social media, I think trades and crafts are coming back.
Yeah, it's a resurgence.
At a record pace. So just to take our story, for example, I get a lot of folks that are native Nashvillians that come into our shop and say, man, 30, 40 years ago, there were 20 plus cobbler shops around the Nashville area. And now there's only about 3 or 4 because so many have closed up business. Our business has been booming because of the advent of social media and the internet and taking advantage of that sort of thing. I think if you're a traditional shop that doesn't really jump on that bandwagon, then yeah, you're kind of left to the vices of people coming into your shop every day. If you broaden your horizons and you use technology, I think it grows your business. And I also think because of social media and the platform, for example, that Heath and I have, we're trying to educate folks on why it's important to buy quality. And therefore, if you buy quality, you don't want to just throw away that shoe that's $400. You want to bring it into a shoe cobbler that knows what they're doing and they can resole it. And therefore, you're saving hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of dollars over the lifespan of that shoe. So
where some are dying, which is kind of just the nature of the business, some things are going to go out of business, others are thriving. And a lot of that kind of goes back to y'all as people who care about, and that's also, it's not just a renaissance on crafts, but there's also a renaissance and younger generation who are wanting to buy quality shoes and dress nicer. And
not only is it that, but it also environmentally. I mean, if you're buying cheap quality stuff, you're blowing through it within a year and you're throwing it in a landfill. Why not take another $50 to $100 and put it towards a nicer shoe that you're probably going to have, that you're going to have for years. So it just makes way too much sense to spend $50, maybe $100 more, save up a little more to buy a better quality item that you'll have for years rather than 6 months to a year.
I mean, how many of you get on eBay and actually find a bunch of crappy made shoes? No one's selling those, but people are selling quality made welted shoes. So yeah, it's either going to pass them off or you can sell them to somebody else because somebody's going to want them.
Okay, folks, well, that just about does it for today. We received over 150 questions from you folks. I appreciate you sending in your questions. Obviously, we cannot answer all of those today, but we will do more videos and try to answer more of those questions as they come in. So definitely leave us a comment down below if you have a question that you would like for us to answer, and we will try to get back to you, or we will try to do another video very soon like this one and answer all of your questions. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. Again, that helps YouTube to know that you're enjoying this type of video and you want to see more content like it. And if you're not subscribed to our channel, bing, bing, please hit the little subscribe button and the bell to be notified every time one of our videos comes out. Again, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this today. As always, we very, very much appreciate it. All right, y'all have a good one.